All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in today's service. We will begin with opening meditation. If you could all please join me in Gassho. Don't believe everything you think. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandos, namandos, namandos. Okay, we'll continue with the three treasures. Fortunate is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Rare is it to encounter the teachings of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not seek the truth of the Dharma in this life, in what life shall we find it? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken within us our highest aspiration. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the Dharma and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in a life of harmony, in a spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriad of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful teaching. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandos, namandos, namandos. Okay, we'll continue with the chanting of Jusei-ge. Namandos, 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 namandos. Gagon chosei gan hishimu jodo shiga manzo sefu josho ga gaomu ryoko fui dai seishu usai shobingu sefu josho ga gashi jobutsu no myosho cho jippon kukyo mishomon sefu josho ga ryoku jin shonen joe shubongyo shigumu jodo isho tenin shi jinriki en daiko usho musai no shoujo sankumyo kosai shuyaku nan kai chi egen meshi konmo an ensoku shoaku no tsuratsu zen shumon koso jo manzo iyo no jippon nichigatsu shujuki tenko onpugen ishu kai ozo kose kudoku o jo dai shuchu senpon shishiku kuyo isaimas gu 足習徳を元年出上満得意三害を女仏無下地砂積み不詳願学絵に投資最小尊志願や国家大戦王冠の国書天人統治妙慶南蛮ダム南蛮ダム南蛮ダム南蛮ダム南蛮ダム南蛮ダム願にしくどく平等正祭道本母大心往生安那公Namandos, namandos, 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 namandos. Okay, we'll continue with the golden chain. I am a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandos, 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 namandos. Okay, now we'll have the first Gotha, which will be Count on Me. If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see. All right. Sorry about a little of that. There was a little bit with my papers were covering up some of the words. And then also, the song is kind of high. So I had a little bit of trouble. Anyway. So for our Dharma talk, let's start off by playing a game. Okay, so for this game, I want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind when you think. So essentially, for the first one, here I'll show kind of an example. So I'll show peanut butter. and then you can say what you think. So if you're at home with a group, you can say it to each other or something, or you can kind of whisper it to yourself if you don't want to. Either way, but if you want to, kind of have a little bit of fun and yell out what you think, just immediately. So don't even think about it. When you see the word, first thing that comes to your mind, say it out loud. So for peanut butter with jelly, right? Peanut butter and jelly. So we'll keep going with this one. All right, here we go. Thunder. Maybe I'll just do this kind of rapidly, so you have to kind of like think about it. You can't think about it. Cats. Lost. Cookies. Pencil. Night. Macaroni. Rock. Socks. Hide. Salt. Hot. Left. Hug. Okay. So maybe some of you had a lot of the same things, which hopefully you did, because that kind of illustrates a point that I'll point out later. Anyway, but the point of that was to show that we have these like instant connections that we have with certain things. So of course here, how I was showing it was in word form, but even other ways that we have a connection to it, if we were to see something or smell something or taste something even, we would connect that to something else. So if someone was to say peanut butter, maybe you would be able to even taste the peanut butter and then taste the jelly, right? Because that's the first thing you think of. So you taste a peanut butter jelly sandwich. That's like one way. Or if you see, or if you hear lightning, or excuse me, thunder, if you hear lightning, if you hear thunder, then immediately you think lightning, right? So you hear the thunder and then you know that it's coming. Or I guess it would be the opposite. If you see lightning, then you hear the thunder. I'm sorry, that was backwards. I had it right. That's why I kept saying it. Anyway, so we have this instant connection with things, whether we see it, we hear it, we taste it, and oftentimes if we have something else, it can be kind of maybe feel uncomfortable for us, right? If someone was to say peanut butter and mayonnaise, which apparently is a thing, but if you hear that, you're like, oh, that might not be right. But there's no real way. It's just because we have this kind of bias. So we're going to talk today about, it's called implicit bias. So last week, we talked about how we as humans seek out patterns and we like to group things together. So I'd like to talk about the next step in our brain processes. So we evaluate a lot of things, right? There's this quickest way to get to a place, right? We think about, oh, if I want to get here, boom, 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 I got to take this freeway, do that, or I got to walk somewhere. Where we want to get dinner, we got to think all these different things. Now, where do these judgment comes from? If it helps that we have all of these different kind of judgments, it helps us to create the quickest way possible. So we're all susceptible. I'll call them these kind of mental shortcuts. So as humans, we're wired to sift through information in the world using these shortcuts. And we should appreciate it. So it helps us to navigate through life without expending all of our energy on tasks. For instance, when we're hungry and it's time to eat. So let's say we go out and we get takeout, we come home, and inside the bag of our food is utensils. So we pull out the 4-pronged tool and we know immediately that it's a fork, even if we've never seen this particular fork in our lives. So without even having to think about it, we know that the 4-pronged tool is a fork. What if we had to figure out what this was every single time we wanted to eat, right? If we picked up this tool and we thought, well, let's see. I think this is where you're supposed to hold on this part. And let's see, there's like 4 prongs on it. I'm assuming this is where you're supposed to like stab something to grab it, but I don't know what it is, but maybe the food. And so if you go through this mental process every single time you have to eat, you would be hungry. You would be starving by the time you actually got to eating, and your food would be cold. So luckily we have these mental processes that help us recognize certain things. So like a fork, we're able to recognize it. Building on last week's talk of groupism, so how we naturally categorize things and animals and people, it gets much more complicated than just if something is similar or different than us. So not only are there many different categories that we can put things in, but there's also this mental shortcut that goes with each and every one of those categories. So again, kind of like going back to that peanut butter and jelly, even if we've never had a kind of peanut butter, even if we've never seen the jar before, even if we've never been to a place where we've had it before, we know if it's peanut butter, then it'll probably go well with jelly. So that's that mental shortcut that we don't have to think about, like, oh, all these different things that you could try with peanut butter. Is it salty? Is it sweet? Blah, blah, blah. We just know peanut butter, jelly. So quick mental shortcut so we know what we want to have when we eat that sandwich. Now, not only do we do this with foods, but we also do this with people. So take me, for instance. Someone might look at me and think male, Asian, maybe terrible style. So with each of these categorizations comes a mental shortcut. So, maybe because I'm male, you think I'm overly confident and, I don't know, like steak or something. Because I'm Asian, I probably played an instrument as a kid and I like sushi. And then if I have terrible style, I'm probably male. But these are all these mental shortcuts that we create that sometimes they can be right, but they aren't always correct. So again, going with this example of myself, when people see me and then they hear my voice, they don't think that my voice should be coming out of a person who looks like me. I guess it should be higher or something. I don't know. Anyway, if we want to be fair to people, we don't want to go off our immediate judgments of meeting a person. So these shortcuts that we have, they come from somewhere. And where do they come from? They can come from many different places in our past. So they can come from our experiences, but they also come from cultural conditioning, from media portrayals, and from our upbringing. So many things influence these shortcuts. Let's see. For another example, let's think about if we were to go to the grocery store and then we wanted to buy cereal. Can you imagine doing it without any mental shortcuts? It would be so complicated. You'd have to look at every single box and see what was in everything and figure out what it was. But luckily, we have these shortcuts. So, for instance, like experience, if you look and then I see grape nuts, I'm like, oh, I've tried it and I really don't care for grape nuts. So immediately there's that shortcut there. Like grape nuts, not tasty. If we look at something else, say I'm looking at Fruity Pebbles and my mom told me that it's really high in sugar, so it's not good for you. So again, the shortcut, Fruity Pebbles, not good for you. And then if we look at Lucky Charms, and I remember that the leprechaun said that they're magically delicious. So Lucky Charms, magically delicious. Now this all happens in a matter of seconds, right? I kind of spaced it out so that we have all of these different steps to where we got there. But really, we don't think about those steps when we're in the moment. When we go into this cereal aisle and we see stuff, instantly we have these reactions, right? So while I've taken up like a couple minutes talking about them, when you're in the aisle, you're just looking around, you go, grape nuts, yuck, Fruity Pebbles, unhealthy, Lucky Charms, magically delicious. So then you pick that one. And then that's how we can get through our grocery shopping, but then also our lives in this much more efficient way. So how does this play into us as Buddhists? So in two ways. As Buddhists, we're always searching for the truth. to the world as it really is. And another way of looking at it is seeing true reality, which is seeing through our Dharma eyes beyond our human eyes. To put it another way, we color the world with our own limited view and assumptions, and it distorts reality and how we interact with it. So as a result, we suffer, and we cause others to suffer. So to remedy that, we must be mindful of these assumptions that we're making. And then secondly, as Buddhists, we want to create and live in an equitable and compassionate society. Ideally, we would treat everyone in a fair and kind way. But wouldn't these mental shortcuts get in the way of us doing so? Again, we have to be mindful of these assumptions that we're making. So to reiterate, having these mental shortcuts or this implicit bias is a natural part of being human. It's very helpful in many aspects of our lives, and we should appreciate it. However, it can create snap judgments that we might not even agree with. So to have these biases doesn't make you a bad person. But as Buddhists, it's important for us to be mindful of them so we can confront them and remedy them when they are inappropriate. If you could all please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Oops, I guess I missed one. So before and then probably after. Okay, so we'll close with Ondoku-san. If you could please join me in Gassho for closing meditation. You can't stop negative thoughts from popping into your head, but you can choose to stop letting them control you and your life. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending this service. Let's see. So we'll have service again, let's see, next week. But before that, I wanted to try to have a trivia night. So we'll have a trivia night on Thursday. I'm trying to do this as kind of like a fundraiser. So there will be like a donation to enter, and then from that, the winner of the trivia will get a gift card. So there'll be a little more details when it comes out, but as this trivia, it will be virtual. So you can play from home, and then you can, the people that you live with, they can be your team. So you can team up with everyone that lives in your house and we'll do it over Zoom. So look for more details and the Google slide for this Thursday night. So we'll post that on the Facebook page as a fundraiser. So thank you again, everyone, for watching today's service. Hopefully that trivia night will go smoothly. Look for that. And we'll see you all later. Okay. Take care.